The Lugavika Trail may be finished, but the adventure isn't over yet. Because here in Iceland, when you think you're done, someone casually mentions, oh, by the way, there's another 2-day hike over a volcano between 2 glaciers ending at one of the country's most famous waterfalls. Welcome to the Fimmvörðuháls Trail, 25 kilometers, 2 days and 1 night in a remote hut perched high in the mountains. It's steep, it's exposed, the weather could turn at any second, but if it goes well, the reward is glaciers, volcanoes, lava fields and over 20 waterfalls, all in one hike. This is the grand finale of my Icelandic trek, and trust me, you're going to want to see how this one ends. I woke up on day one at the Fimmvörðuháls Trail with mixed feelings. On one hand, I had just finished the Lugavika Trail, my legs were tired, and part of me thought, you know what, a lazy day in Þórsmörk wouldn't be so bad. On the other hand, there was no way I was skipping this. This is one of the most famous extensions in Iceland, and would take me all the way to Skógafoss. The only problem? The warden had warned me, expect wind, expect rain, but it could be manageable. Which basically in Icelandic is, good luck, you're on your own. So this is it. This is now part of the extension, the first day. I'm going to be hiking mostly upwards today, so it's going to be a tough one, about 1,000 meters up, about 11 kilometers, so it's going to take me a while. The warden said there's probably rain coming after 12, so I need to be up there before 12, otherwise it's going to be really tricky and cold. So it's going to be there by the glacier, it's going to be cold today, so I need to get up there and stay warm. So got my rain gear on just in case. The weather is looking cloudy up there, so let's see. So a little nervous, I packed extra snacks and water, pulled on my rain gear and set off early. The first section eased me in, a flat stretch across a dried up riverbed, followed by bridges over some roaring glacier rivers. So last night's hike was pretty good here at Þórsmörk. Yeah, probably one of the nicest ones on the entire trail. So if you want to rest up after your long hike at Lugavika, nice place to do it. Nice big kitchens, nice bunk beds. Yeah, I think everyone was also quite happy for finishing the trail. So yeah, we also have a nice reception area. We also charged devices, but it was full when I got there, so I couldn't get the chance. Yeah. And there's a restaurant, the Volcano Huts, about 2 kilometers away, so if you want to have a nice meal, there's an option for that as well. Yeah, so very nice. Weather is not bad at the moment. I'm gonna see how far I can get while this weather is lasting. So we'll see how much videos and photos I can do today, but I think the priority is to get up there before the rain. So wish me luck. By the way, my body is feeling a bit tired today. I think it doesn't feel like to be a difficult trail, but it does wear at you after a couple of days. Any trails like that. So listen to your body and just take it step by step, right? And we'll get there, we'll get there. Bag was a bit heavy now with all the water in there, so let's see. The trail then climbed gently alongside a river with a mountain looming beside me. Cloudy skies, cool air, no rain yet. For Iceland, this was basically perfect hiking weather. I knew what was coming though, a steep, exposed climb of over 1,000 meters of elevation. So yeah, nerves were high. Legs were already whispering, really? Again? But it was time to go up. And then the climbing began. At first it was steady, winding through the low forest, a rare treat in Iceland, but soon the trees gave way and the trail just pointed straight up. Within minutes my legs were burning, my lugs were working overtime, and my inner voice was asking some very fair questions like, didn't we just hike over 55 kilometers? Shouldn't we be done by now? The higher I climbed, the more exposed it got. The wind started picking up, clouds drifting across the valley below. It was kind of a climb where you stopped to take photos, but really you're just trying not to collapse on the spot. Eventually though, I reached the ridgeline, and suddenly the pain didn't matter anymore. The views open and in every direction, 360 degrees of mountains, valleys and glaciers. Dark volcanic ridges stretched out in front of me, while massive sheets of ice shimmered in the distance. It felt raw, dramatic, and just a little intimidating. Like Iceland was showing off and reminding me who was boss. The weather was still holding, but just barely. I could feel the rain in the air, waiting for the perfect moment to crash the party. Just when I thought the ridge climb was the hard part, Iceland reminded me we still had a few tricks left. The rain finally arrived, cold, sharp and carried on gusts of wind that made me double check every step. The trail tilted steeply again, forcing me to stop every few minutes just to catch my breath. Not much footage here, partly because of the weather and partly because I was too busy trying not to fall over. And then suddenly the ground changed. The rocky path gave way to an alien landscape, a volcano zone, black lava rock, streaks of green moss, and flashes of deep red stone painted in the mountainside. It was like walking into a completely different world. The area is famous because it was created by the 2010 eruption, the same eruption that shut down in the European airspace for days. Up here, you're literally walking across fresh volcanic history. The rain eased for a while and I could finally take it all in. Jagged ridges, steaming vents and patches of snow that looked almost silver against the black and red. At one point, it felt like I was walking through a black and white movie. Just me, the volcanic rock and the mist. Surreal doesn't even begin to cover it. Okay, so make no mistake, that was some tough climbs, really steep. Luckily the weather was good, otherwise it would have been more tough. I was out of breath a couple of times, legs are burning. But I think I've reached the end of the climb for the day. Now it's just flat through the volcanic fields. I think, if I remember correctly, this volcano was created less than a decade ago, or just a bit more than a decade ago. So yeah, it is an incredible sight to walk between these volcanic fields. Yeah, and also walking up, you sort of pass this beautiful glacier next to you. The views are incredible. So if you're up for a bit of a challenge, definitely worth it. Beautiful. The volcanic zone gave way to something even more dramatic, the glacier. The path narrowed, the wind picked up, and soon I found myself edging across slick, icy slopes. And just as my legs started asking for early retirement, I spotted it, the hut. Perched up high between the glaciers, it felt like the top of the world. Remote, windswept, and absolutely magical. And there we go. Day 5 done, or day 1 with the extension. Managed to reach the hut. And I try to get warm now and something to drink. That was a tough climb. Yeah, let's do this. Inside I was welcomed by the warden, who as it turns out has been working here for over 25 years. She greeted us like old friends, offering free hot coffee and hot chocolate to every tired hiker who stumbled through the door. In a place like this, that first sip feels like liquid happiness. The hut itself was cozy and simple. Mattresses lined up across the top floor, everyone side by side. I was lucky to arrive early, so I snagged a spot under the window slightly away from the sardine pile. No showers, of course, but there was running water, a stash of snacks for sale, and yes, they even take card. And outside, a tiny toilet house with one of the best views on the planet. Not many bathrooms can compete with a glacier backdrop. The rest of the evening was spent reading, eating, and swapping stories with new trail friends. Somehow up here in the middle of nowhere, it felt like the perfect reward for a long, brutal, but unforgettable day. Waking up on day 2 felt surreal. I looked out the window and it was completely clear. Blue skies, bright sun, until I realized we were actually above the clouds. It was beautiful, but I knew the descent would take me straight back into the mist. After a quick breakfast, I packed my bag, said goodbye to the hut and started the long walk down. Morning. Final day, can you believe it? Second day of the Fimmvörðuháls, however you pronounce it. So on my way to Skógar. Should be about a 14-kilometer hike, mostly downhill, and apparently we're passing down about 20 waterfalls on the way there. And really looking forward. And look at this day, blue skies, almost no wind. I mean, what a way to end this epic trip, right? Love it. Anyway, let's get started. By the way, this hut was very cute. I mean, very basic. Only recently, about 2 years ago, they managed to have running water up here, so there is now tap water up here. So I was very nervous in the beginning that you have to bring all your own water, etc. But that's working. There's one little bathroom there, there's one toilet there as well. But they're sleeping around with this quite sort of cramped top. So be prepared for that. You're going to be just one floor, just with mattresses and sort of walking over each other a little bit. But overall, what a nice hut. I mean, the lady working there is epic. She is really brilliant. She's been working there for over 12 years already. Very sweet. Gave everyone hot chocolate and coffee. I mean, what more do you want? So, and then also accepts card and also has some snacks and stuff as well and some beers. So how epic to have that at such a remote location. And look at that setting, you know, views of the glacier, blue skies, above the clouds. This is really amazing. So if you can, this is really a nice hike. It's a bit tough to get here, but it's really worth it at the end. So highly recommend it. The first section was unreal. Volcanic fields stretched out with the glacier behind me. The sky crystal clear. It felt like one last reminder of just how epic this trail can be. Wow, this is really what it's about, right? 7:30 in the morning, no one else around, clear skies, glacier in front of you, and you're walking in Iceland, the land of fire and ice. After 5 days of walking, the 6th day feels like a celebration. This has really been a good trip. Iceland, you've been very kind to me, and I do appreciate it. I know you can be angry sometimes without any cruelty, but this was definitely a highlight of some of my trips. And it's nice to end like yesterday with a nice tough hike, just to feel like you've accomplished something. So yeah, to be between the glaciers here, it's really something special. Heart is full, very happy man right now. Then came the clouds. I walked straight into them. The world turned grey, mist swirling around me. The air was damp, the ground was slick, and suddenly everything felt cinematic, like stepping into a moody Icelandic film. Eventually the clouds thinned and I began to hear it before I saw it. Waterfalls. And not just one, not two, but over 20 waterfalls, scattered along the river cliffs as I descended towards Skógá. Some were small and delicate, trickling over mossy ledges. Others thundered into deep canyons, the spray hitting me from across the trail. It was impossible not to stop every 5 minutes just to stare. This section felt less like hiking and more like walking through Iceland's greatest hits album. And then finally the big one, Skógafoss. At first I reached the top, looking over the edge where the river plunged into the valley. Crowds of day hikers buzzed around me, a bit of shock after the days of remote solitude. But nothing prepared me for walking down the steps and standing at the bottom. The roar of the water, the mist filling the air, and me standing there soaking wet, realizing this was the end. Just like that, done with 6 days of hiking. Made all the way from Landmaliger to Skogar in 6 days. Just finished the 2 days of the extension of Lagerviger and got down into civilization again. Beautiful ending with Skógafoss here at the back. Really, really pretty. Of course, very popular as you can see, but that is the reason why. It's really a stunning, stunning waterfall. On the way here, I probably crossed about 20 waterfalls. Really a good route if you're up there. Nice little day hike as well. So yeah, that's it. Finished. Another one in the books. Now I need to find where my bus is to see if I can get back to Reykjavik. Reykjavik Trail, done and dusted. Let's get it. And that was it, the end of the Fimmvörðuháls Trail, and with it the end of my entire Icelandic trek. From the Rama Mountains of Landmaliga to the stormy ridges of Rafnunusker, the mirror lakes of Oflavatn, the endless black deserts of Emster, and now across glaciers, lava fields and 20 waterfalls all the way down to Skógafoss. 6 days, 75 kilometers, 2 trails and 0 regrets. Looking back, it's hard to believe how much Iceland packs into a short distance. Every day felt like a new world: fire, ice, desert, forest and finally water. And somehow I got lucky with the weather, the people I met and the sheer variety of landscapes I'll never forget. Finishing at Skógafoss felt like a celebration lap. A reminder that the hardest work was done, and all that was left was to enjoy the power and beauty of Iceland one last time. Would I do it again? Absolutely. In fact, I already planned to come back. But for now, this chapter is closed. If you enjoyed coming along on this adventure, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and join me for the next journey. Iceland might be over, but the adventure definitely isn't. Until next time, keep exploring.